boys and girls? Bunjmin Bakcho here. We're back in F123 ranked online races. As you can see, we are at Singapore today. Not one of my most favorite tracks. I'm like 2 seconds off of the esports guys in time trials, so not really one of my stronger tracks. But we managed to set a purple sector 1 and purple sector 2. Now we are on a time trial type setup. I think the wings are like 4741 or like 4740, so not exactly the most grip, but fortunately the tires last long enough in a quality lap that we actually were almost a second faster than the driver in P2, which made me a little bit overconfident going into this race, as I was expecting to just get ahead and stay ahead at a track like Singapore, where overtaking is really, really difficult. So only silver 1, didn't do any races since they did the ranked changeover. So we're here at the start of the race. Everybody's on softs. A miserable start, just bogged down. It's like a month away from the release of F124, and we still can't get our starts going at the beginning of the race. Either way, Seduce jumps out ahead of us, and wasn't really quite sure what was going to happen. As I said, we were almost a second faster than everybody else. The drivers behind are battling a little bit. They're a little bit closer. We're about 0.8 to P1 now, and at this moment I'm hoping to just see a flashing red light. Usually when you're that much quicker than somebody in quali, the driver in P2, if he does get ahead, generally burns all of their ERS to try and pull ahead and break DRS. So that's what I was hoping for here. And we get through Sector 1 now. Still haven't seen the light, and I was like, okay, maybe this guy's a little bit more skilled than most drivers. You see, as you can see, P3 is now already almost outside of the 1 second mark, and now just getting outside. And he's got one driver just a tenth or two behind him, so I was hoping those two would get caught up in a battle. And now we've dropped the DRS to the driver in P1 as well, but we still have 92% battery left, so I was thinking we're still in a pretty good spot here, hoping that we had the pace. And right away I can already kind of tell the setup isn't all that great. Gears that I usually take corners in feel a little bit bogged down, and just can't get traction out of the corners. As you can see later on, I start dropping to a lower gear to try and get better rotation, but I think we just chose the wrong setup. Excellent for quali, not really that great for a race, especially when there's other people that kind of know what they're doing. Now we've closed up a little bit to Seduce. Lap number 2, still haven't seen a flashing light yet, so I was starting to get a little bit worried now. He seems like he's got pretty good pace. P3 has also kind of caught up a little bit, and P4 has dropped back a little bit, so I don't know if they got into it and got into contact or whatever. But now we start extending the gap a little bit, and we're about 0.6 to the driver in first place, and still no flashing red light. Not only that, but this is just about the time I realize, damn it, I forgot to lower the force feedback on my wheel. Now I like to drive with heavy force feedback, but on street circuits like Singapore, Monaco, and even on a track like Hungary with all the corners, the slow speed corners, I like to lower the force feedback a little bit so that my arms don't get super tired. And we haven't even gotten to lap 3 yet, and my arms are super tired because I have the force feedback strength up to like 95 on the wheel right now. So not making any excuses, but I was ill prepared for this race. We got the wrong setup on. Didn't bother doing any running in Grand Prix mode or anything like that to test out the tracks this week. So it came in, just threw on a quali setup and forgot to change the force feedback on my wheel. And I was like, crap, this guy still, his light still isn't flashing. And DRS is already enabled and we're outside of DRS. But again, we still have 90% battery, and we were pretty quick in quali. Now we jump to lap number 4, and we finally start to see Seduce make a couple mistakes here. A little bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a shake, into that chicane there. We've closed back into within DRS for a split moment, and then we get DRS. No, we don't get DRS down the main straight here with the start-finish straight anyway. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried now. But we have some back marker traffic coming up. I assume these guys got into it, had to pit early for a new front wing. And fortunately for us, I think we would have gotten DRS anyway as we're under a second there. But this back marker here was right behind Seduce, so we ended up getting DRS anyway. Now our battery is down to about 50%. I started using it a little bit once we started getting closer to that 1 second mark. And I'm not sure if this guy has the racing line on or not. If he doesn't, that's impressive. We got it on, so we've got a little bit of handicap. Now, halfway through lap 5, his light starts blinking, and we have 60% battery. So I thought, okay, we might still be able to make this work. Jump to lap number 7. We're about to come into the pit lane at the end of lap number 8 here. So I thought, all right, let's try and make a move. We're kind of close now, and he's got his light flashing. We've got over 50% battery left. Let's see if we can try and take a look at overtaking. He gets a little bit of a tank slapper there, which gives us a little bit more time. We've closed up to about 4/10. I don't know what his setup was at, but he seemed to have pretty good pace on the straights and through the corners. So here we are closing up. We finally get a chance to overtake. He squeezes off, tough but fair. He gave us plenty of room there. I'm going to do it right back to him here. We just park it right on the apex, go right towards the wall. He's still on the outside right, as you can see the proximity arrow. But we park it on the apex again, and we finally make a move. Nice, clean battling from Seduce, which I always appreciate. So we made it out into P1, but take a look. Even though he's got no battery, I think he just had a much better setup than us, and I think he was a much better racer than us anyway, as even on the straights he was still able to keep up. But yeah, he just gets better traction out of the corners than we do, and I was just like, crap. I know we may have a little bit better straight line speed, maybe by a couple kph, but if he's going to get those kinds of exits off corners, I don't really know what's going to happen. We pit on that lap. I come out in front. This is I think a lap after we pit, down to only 17% battery, and look at him, he's right on our gearbox, and he's closer to us than we were to him ever in the first stint. So he's about to get DRS here. He's going to try and make a move. I only have 17% battery left. I'm not going to bother fighting. He was able to stick with us anyway, so I'm not going to waste all my battery. I'm going to stay behind, get DRS behind him, charge my battery, and try for an overtake later on in the race. But look, he starts pulling away from us right away, and I was like, crap, we are in trouble. I can't get any traction out of corners. I think I need to go a couple clicks higher on the rear wing, at least maybe 47, 42, or maybe even like 48, 43 to get better drive out of the corners here. But yeah, he's pulling away and then going down this DRS straight, just taking forever to get to flat out. And he's already almost 9/10 ahead of us. So a little bit worried here, but his light's still flashing, and we come to the end of lap 14, start of lap 15. His light's still flashing. We managed to get up to about 25%. I don't know if he's at complete zero, or if he's just below 10%. We get some back marker traffic again, but luckily it doesn't bother either one of us. At about half a tenth here, I thought about maybe trying to make a move coming out of this corner here. In hindsight, I probably should have tried to make the move here. Take a look at the tires. We're still on pretty decent tires. But I thought, I don't have enough battery. I'm probably going to run out of battery halfway down the straight, so we end up waiting. Come into Sector 2 here. He gets a little bit of a moment there. We close up again, but he's just on a much better setup. And I think his tires are in much better condition than ours. Even though he is flashing, this is still Singapore. It's going to be difficult to overtake anyway. And yeah, look at him. He's pulling away in the bridge section here. And then we come down this DRS straight here, taking it in second, when generally I like to take it in third. But like I said, we just weren't getting enough turn in. Get the DRS here. He's pulled that gap out to about 6/10 again. Again, just waiting to get on throttle. And just not having this setup work for us here. I think even if we had a better setup, we weren't getting by anyway. We were never really close enough, and I think if we were close enough, we weren't going to have the straight line speed. So now we come into the final lap here, and I am dead tired at this point. I haven't done a full race in so long. I forgot to change the force feedback. I know it sounds like excuses, but that's really what happened. And even if I did have the right setup and had the right force feedback, I don't think we were winning this race anyway. We come to the last overtaking spot here. 3/10, but we just don't have the battery. We weren't close enough. We don't have the battery here. Trying to take a look down the inside, but we weren't close enough, and I'm not going to dive bomb just to boot him off track there. So, yeah, that was it. That was the last opportunity we had. But, man, this was a 16-lap long battle with Seduce, who just had the step on us the entire time. He had to step up on us, and nothing we could do about it. He was just really, really quick. If he's not using the racing line, that's even more impressive, as I had the racing line and I still could not make it work there. But yeah, very nice, clean race, good, tough race, a couple of overtakes back and forth. No incidents. We were wheel to wheel a couple times, but didn't touch. I can't understand why we can't have more races like this. Most of the time, you do a race at Singapore, if you're not starting P1 or P2, you're getting DNF'd from somebody fighting for P15 on lap number 2 for some reason. But yeah, it was a really tough race, really good race. I enjoyed this. We didn't win, still enjoyed the race anyway. Kudos to Deuce. I had a little chat with him after the race and seemed like a good guy. But yeah, that was all a very enjoyable race for me. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know, really not much action, but the racing itself was pretty draining. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you think I've earned it, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Remember to eat bok choy. I'll see you guys in the next one.